Hi everyone, I'm Sue's son Josh, and I was fortunate to inherit a lot of my mom's traits, one of which is a penchant for emotion. So just a heads up that I've asked my wife Emily to bail me out in case I can't make it through this. On the behalf of our family, I'd like to start by deeply thanking everyone for being here. My mom was a person who lived her life for people. She loved people. She loved serving people, and she loved being surrounded by people. And she would be absolutely tickled to be everyone's center of attention today. I'd also like to thank all those who supported our family over the last 3 years. The care was measured in moments, gifts, and words, both large and small. A rowdy, multi-car birthday parade. Her favorite foods and flowers, donations for treatments, and countless texts and phone calls. For 3 years, she felt an overwhelming sense of love, and our family is so grateful to all of you. Today, I'm hoping to communicate 3 things: who my mom was to us, who she was to everyone else, and who she is to God. First, who my mom was to our family. She was a wife and partner to our dad. In many ways, she was completely his opposite, but also his perfect complement. Dad is a rule follower. Mom would call herself more of a rule bender, never quite feeling obligated to follow them. Those moments would be characterized with a classic, "Oh, it's not that big of a deal." At any point while playing a game, if she thought it would be more fun to change the rules, you had better figure out the new strategy. A case in point, we'll be making Pictionary turns all play all the time. Mom was also the emotional to Dad's rational, the chaos to his structure, the compete for fun to his compete to win, the banter to his wit, and the salesperson to his accountant. On this last point, a perfect example was their monthly budget process. Dad would spend a fair bit of time creating these in-depth financial statements, detailing all their spending, and actually highlighting all the important numbers. Mom wouldn't read them. She said, "Give me a smiley or a frowny face. That's all I need." The next month, the financial statements had faces on them. Even after 37 years of marriage, they continued to adapt to each other. And though they were opposites, they were perfectly aligned where it mattered: their faith in God, their commitment to each other, and their love for their family. They demonstrated biblical marriage, which isn't to say that it was always perfect or easy. What it means is that they showed unyielding love and commitment to each other, especially when it wasn't perfect or easy. Their marriage thrived because it centered on God. To her children, Mom was a comforter, an encourager, and a lover of games. She was creativity and humor and joy. She was back rubs and holding hands. She was someone who could take any situation, no matter how contentious or uncomfortable, and dismantle it with a smile and a laugh. That was one of her approaches to life: keep things light. I remember a bit of her dating advice to me. I must have been in junior high and was upset about some breakup. And rather than give a typical line, she said, "Date everybody. Just keep it light and fun." Advice that no doubt was a frustration for my dad early in the relationship. But that was part of her mindset, and a great balance to her firm commitment to faith and family. Resolute intensity on the important areas, and a little more nonchalant about everything else. It was what enabled her to lead a Bible study of junior high girls, and then lead them to toilet paper someone's house. It was how she could lecture Nate and me for hours on end about sportsmanship, but then let us shoot fireworks at each other, not before buying us safety goggles. Most importantly to us, she was selfless love. Her central focus was her family. Nightly dinners, birthdays and celebrations, cheering at sporting events. She just gave. She was a loving caregiver to both her parents, even through her treatments. She was a friend to 2 daughters-in-law and a doting grandparent to Lucas. As many things as she was to our family, she was a lot of things to everyone else. My mom gave birth to 3 children, but she was a mother to many, many more. Her reach extended to all the friends of Becca, Nate, and me. Her bookstore aides at Hamilton Southeastern, her youth group girls, and a group of exchange students, and a host of others. What I want to focus on, though, is what she represented to all these people. She showed them all unconditional love. And for a lot of them, it was the first time that they had ever seen it. Within a year or two of working at the high school, she had a near cult following. Like moths to a flame, students from all backgrounds were naturally drawn to her warmth. She eventually became the most popular Powers at the school. And that's with the daughter who was on homecoming court all 4 years. And yes, she did have a reputation for having a bit too much fun, particularly with rubber band shooting wars. But what mattered to those students was just how kind and loving she was. That kindness and love knew no boundaries. We saw it in her family relationships, in her friendships, in her work acquaintances, and even in her caregivers. To her friends, she was a joyful smile, an infectious laugh, a comforting touch, and a thoughtful gesture. Finally, I would like to share who she is to God, and that is his child. She knew that, and we saw it demonstrated all her life, but especially through the cancer. We saw it demonstrated in the seconds after she was diagnosed, and we saw it demonstrated in the last few days. With my dad's permission, I would like to share something that he wrote to our family after her passing. Sue's Christianity is authentic. There is no show, no pretentiousness, just a close relationship with Jesus as both Savior and Lord. Many people are comfortable with the idea of Jesus as Savior. Jesus as Lord, however, is different, but not for Sue. He is the one who rescued her, and he is the one she follows and obeys. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, my mom would want to be known for her faith. Her death is painful, a loss that won't ever be filled, and a wound that won't ever quite heal. There is hope, there is a promise that was strong enough to hold the faith of a woman who served others all her life, yet still felt suffering. A promise on which I selfishly cling, and my mom would want everyone to cling to that promise as well. As we remember her life today, I'm not sure if there will be Pictionary in heaven, but if there is, you can bet she's already jumped in and forced everyone into all with nothing but a smile and a laugh.